Hey, what's up everyone? Dr. Stein here from Straight Ahead Chiropractic. Well, actually I'm not at Straight Ahead Chiropractic, I'm in my kitchen because I have this idea or I have this analogy. Hopefully it works, hopefully it makes sense, but I just want to share it with you in regards to how stress or how the stress mechanism works and specifically how chiropractic helps or what we do in our office at Straight Ahead helps with kiddos and families that are just overwhelmed with stress. So all of us have this resiliency, this ability to adapt to our environment. And there's a natural stress response. There's a sympathetic, which is the fight or flight, and a parasympathetic, which is rest and digest. Now, this illustration, hopefully you can see it. This pitcher full of water here has a valve on it. And that valve should release some water, okay? Think of stress as our body's ability, or think of stress really as this pitcher or this resiliency. And there should always be some levels of stress. Stress isn't always bad because it can actually help us grow and develop, right? There is strength that can come through struggle, which means that stress is necessary if you want to get stronger, if you want to get healthier. You need to challenge your system to be able to make those adaptations and changes. The problem is if stress is overwhelming and we get stuck in that pattern, which we call sympathetic dominance, there's a lot of overflow, which we're going to talk about here in a second. So you take things like a stressful pregnancy, and you dump them into the mix, and a normal healthy body should be able to be resilient. Requires a little bit of a stress response, but then the parasympathetics kick in, which is like the blow-off valve, and they let some of the steam out, right? Which then lowers our reserve, or really increases our reserve, and makes us more resilient, more able to handle more. And then more stress comes, more is cycled through, and there's this give and take that's not necessarily a balance, because balance is bogus. It's this give and take where the sympathetic, the fight or flight kicks in, we handle our stress, and then the parasympathetic, the rest and digest comes in, and then that handles that stress response, which causes us to calm down. We get excited, we calm down. We get excited, we calm down. And that happens frequently, and in babies that happens a lot, actually. But what happens if you take these stressors, like birth trauma, or posture and diet, and homework and overload with that, and this valve down here gets stuck. The stress response stays stuck on. That happens when the spine has tension. When there's tension in the spine and that stress accumulates and overwhelms the system, what ends up happening is the stress response stays stuck on. So as we add more schoolwork and homework, as we add social media, as we add sports and activities, and even sports injuries, and we add stress. As we add more stress to the system, what ends up happening is overflow. Instead of that valve opening up and allowing things to drain out, we get this spillover effect. That spillover effect shows up in things like meltdowns, sleep disturbances, immune struggles, allergies, chronic ear infections, constipation, tummy issues, impulsive behavior. Just think of a time where you've been stressed out and then ask yourself, are you rational? Are you at your best self in moments of overwhelm? We say things like, we're at the end of our rope, we've had enough, we can't take anymore. Well, here's an illustration of that. If our body is not doing a good job of the parasympathetics engaging because there's tension on the spine, decreasing proprioceptive input, which is a whole lot of neurology, I would love to have a one-on-one conversation with you about. But when that happens and we get stuck in that sympathetic dominance, we get spillover. And the only thing that's going to pull us out of that struggle and cycle of really stress is going to be some chiropractic adjustments that help correct the neurology, calm the system, and restore some of the interplay, that balance, right? Like I said, staying balanced is not rational, that's not reasonable, and that's not a good expectation. But there should be this give and take that happens, like this ebb and flow that naturally happens. But a stuck spine and a stuck nervous system, it can't happen. You get spillover, which is why we see so many kids in the storms, neurostorms, and struggles that we see them in. So if this is something that resonates with you, if this makes sense, please comment below. Please reach out to us, send us a message. We would love to do a consultation or just to even have a conversation with you to see how we can help. All right, hope is straight ahead. Thanks, have a great day. Bye.